My name is Emily, and I am 28 years old living in the heart of Manchester, England. If you know anything about Manchester, you know it is a city built on red brick buildings and a certain kind of toughness that stays with you from the time you are a little girl. I have lived here my entire life, and for as long as I can remember, my best friend has been a guy named Jack. Jack and I grew up on the same street, and we have that kind of friendship where nothing is off limits. We have seen each other through the awkward years of braces and bad haircuts, and we have stayed close even as we transitioned into our late 20s. My life is pretty normal for the most part because I work as a graphic designer for a small firm in the city center, and I spend my weekends playing for a local women's football team. I love the game and I love the camaraderie, but most of all, I love the banter. In Manchester, banter is like a second language. If you cannot give your friends a hard time, then you are not really friends at all. Jack and I have perfected this art over the last 2 decades. We call it hazing, but it is all in good fun, or at least it was supposed to be. Jack has always had a bit of a complicated situation because his mother, whose name is Sarah, has always been what people call a very attractive woman. Even when we were kids, the other boys in school would make comments about how pretty she was. As we got older, those comments became more frequent and more crude. Because Jack is my best friend, I knew that this was his one weak spot. He is a tough guy who works in construction and has a thick skin for almost everything, but when it came to his mother, he was always very sensitive. Naturally, because I am a bit of a troublemaker, I leaned into that. Whenever Jack would make fun of me for losing a match or for a bad date I had gone on, I would always fire back with a comment about how his mother was the real star of the family. I would tell him that it was a shame he did not inherit her good looks, or I would joke about how all the guys on my football team were always asking for her phone number. It was my ultimate weapon, and for years it worked perfectly. I could see it would make his face turn a bright shade of red, and he would get this look of pure frustration that made me feel like I had won the round. It was our dynamic, and I never thought it would actually cause a real problem between us. I thought we were both in on the joke, even if he did not laugh as loud as I did. But as I would soon find out, everyone has a breaking point, and I was pushing Jack closer to his than I realized. The trouble really started on a Tuesday afternoon. The weather was typical for Manchester, which means it was gray and drizzling, and I had just finished a long day of staring at computer screens. My mother, whose name is Linda, is the sweetest woman in the world, but she is not exactly the most organized person. She had gone grocery shopping and called me to say she was struggling to get all the bags from her car into the house. I told her I would be there in 10 minutes to help. As I was pulling up to my mother's house, I saw Jack walking down the sidewalk. He lived just a few blocks away, and he often took that route to get to the local gym. He saw my mother struggling with a heavy crate of bottled water, and being the polite guy he actually is, he jogged over to help her. I watched from my car as he took the crate from her and started carrying it toward the front door. My mother was so grateful, and she was chatting away with him like she always does. She thinks Jack is a lovely boy, and she has no idea about the constant teasing I put him through regarding his own mother. As they reached the front porch, my mother realized she had dropped her house keys on the driveway. She leaned over to pick them up, and that was when it happened. My mother was wearing a pair of low-rise jeans that day, and as she bent down, a significant portion of her colorful underwear was visible above the waistband. In the world of fashion, people used to call this a whale tail. It was an embarrassing moment for any daughter to witness, but it was just a silly accident. However, I saw Jack freeze. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his smartphone. Before I could even get out of the car to say anything, I saw him snap a quick photo. He had a look on his face that I had never seen before. It was not anger, and it was not even humor. It was the look of a man who had finally found the ammunition he needed to end a long war. I stepped out of the car and called his name, but he just gave me a quick wave and kept walking down the street with a smirk on his face. I helped my mother inside and tried to shake off the weird feeling in my stomach. I told myself that Jack was just being immature and that he would probably just send the photo to me as a joke. I went home and tried to relax, but I kept checking my phone. The evening went by slowly, and I started to think that maybe I had imagined the whole thing. Maybe he was just checking the time or responding to a text message. But then at around 8 o'clock, my phone started buzzing incessantly. It was vibrating so much that it nearly fell off my coffee table. I picked it up and saw that I had over 50 new notifications from the WhatsApp messaging application. My heart sank. I opened the application and went straight to the group chat for my football team. This group chat included 25 women from my team and several of the coaches and staff members. It was the hub of our social lives, and everything we did was shared there. I scrolled to the top of the unread messages, and there it was. Jack had somehow managed to get added to the group by one of our mutual friends, and he had posted the clear high-definition photo of my mother bending over in her driveway. Underneath the photo, he had written a message that said, "Check the football team's WhatsApp, and don't you ever talk about my mom again." The comments from the team were already pouring in. Some people were laughing, and others were asking who posted it, and some were just making jokes about the colorful pattern of the underwear. I felt a wave of heat rush to my face, and my blood began to boil. I was humiliated beyond words. This was not just a joke between friends anymore. He had taken a private and embarrassing moment of my mother, who is an innocent woman, and shared it with my entire social circle. The banter had officially turned into a war. I spent the next hour trying to delete the photo and explaining to my teammates that it was a mistake, but the damage was done. Everyone had seen it. I felt like I could never show my face at practice again. I was so angry that I could not even sit still. I paced around my small apartment trying to figure out how Jack could be so cruel. I knew I had teased him about his mom, but I had never taken a secret photo of her and posted it for the world to see. I had only used words. He had used an image, and he had targeted my own mother to get back at me. I realized then that my original problem of being a bit of a bully with my jokes had grown into a massive conflict that threatened my reputation and my relationship with my mother if she ever found out. I tried to call Jack to scream at him, but he did not answer. He was ignoring me because he knew he had won. He had silenced me. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I could not let this stand. I needed to solve this problem, but every time I tried to think of a way to fix it, I realized I was just making things worse in my head. I felt like I was at the lowest point of my life. My friends were laughing at my family, and my best friend had betrayed me in the worst way possible. I felt like all was lost. I stayed awake all night staring at the ceiling, and the anger inside me started to turn into a cold and calculated plan. I knew Jack better than anyone, and I knew that if I wanted to get revenge, I had to play the long game. I had to hit him where it hurt the most. I started by doing some research. I knew that Jack was very proud of his job in construction, and he was currently working on a big high-profile project in the center of Manchester. He was hoping for a promotion to site manager, and he had been on his best behavior for months. He wanted to prove that he was responsible and professional. I also knew that Jack had a secret. It was something he had told me years ago when we were both a little bit drunk at a pub. He had a massive crush on the daughter of his boss. Her name was Chloe, and she was a very sophisticated woman who worked in the marketing department of the same construction company. Jack was terrified of her, and he had never had the courage to even say hello to her. He had told me that if he ever messed up his chance with her, he would never forgive himself. This was my opening. I spent the next few days acting like I was fine. I went to football practice, and I endured the jokes with a fake smile. I even sent a text to Jack saying that he got me good and that I was moving on. I wanted him to think the war was over. I wanted him to feel safe. Meanwhile, I started using my graphic design skills to create something special. I created a fake social media profile for a high-end local event planner. I made it look incredibly professional with a portfolio of elegant parties and corporate events. Then, I reached out to Chloe through her professional social media account. I told her that our company was looking for a new construction firm to partner with for a series of luxury developments in Manchester, and we wanted to interview some of the up and coming talent at her father's company. I specifically mentioned that we had heard great things about Jack. Chloe was interested because she was always looking for ways to help her father's business grow. She agreed to set up a meeting at a very fancy restaurant in the city. I told her that we wanted it to be a surprise for Jack to see how he handled a high-pressure situation without preparation. She thought it was a brilliant and modern way to scout talent. Now, I had the location and the time. The next step was the most important one. I needed to make sure Jack showed up looking like a complete fool. I sent an anonymous message to Jack from a burner phone. I told him that Chloe had been asking about him and that she wanted to meet him for a secret date at the restaurant. I told him that she was shy and wanted him to take the lead. I told him that she loved men who were bold and who were not afraid to show their fun side. I suggested that he should wear something that really made him stand out. because Jack was so desperate to impress her, he fell for it hook, line, and sinker. On the night of the meeting, I went to the restaurant early and found a seat in a dark corner where I could watch everything. I had my camera ready. Chloe arrived first looking stunning and professional in a business suit. She sat at the table and waited for the person she thought was a representative from an event planning company. Then Jack walked in. He was wearing the most ridiculous outfit I have ever seen. He had taken my advice about being bold to the extreme. He was wearing a bright neon pink suit with a patterned shirt that was unbuttoned way too low. He had gold chains around his neck, and he had used way too much hair gel. He looked like a character from a bad reality television show. He saw Chloe and his eyes lit up. He walked over to her with a swagger that was completely unearned. He sat down, and before she could even say a word, he started using all these terrible pickup lines I had fed him through the anonymous messages. He was being loud and obnoxious, and he was making a complete scene. Chloe looked horrified. She thought she was there for a professional business meeting, and instead she was being harassed by a man in a neon pink suit who worked for her father. People at the other tables were staring and whispering. I could see the exact moment when Jack realized something was wrong. Chloe stood up and told him that he was being completely unprofessional and that she was going to have a very serious conversation with her father about his future at the company. She walked out of the restaurant and left Jack sitting there alone, looking like a giant neon pink mistake. I stepped out from the shadows and walked over to his table. I pulled out my phone and showed him the photos I had just taken of his humiliating failure. I leaned in close and whispered that he should check the company's internal messaging system in the morning and that he should never talk about my mom again. I walked out of the restaurant feeling a sense of satisfaction that is hard to describe. I had used his own tactics against him, and I had hit him where it hurt the most, which was his professional life and his romantic dreams. The next morning, I followed through on my threat. I did not send the photos to everyone because I am not a monster, but I did make sure that a few of the people who worked with him saw how he had behaved at the restaurant. Word spread quickly, and Jack became the laughingstock of the construction site. He did not get the promotion, and he was moved to a much less desirable project on the outskirts of the city. He also never got a chance with Chloe, who refused to even look at him after that night. For a few weeks, I felt like I had truly won. The banter had ended, and I had my revenge. But as the dust settled, I realized that the consequence of my actions was not exactly what I had expected. Our friendship was completely over. Jack and I stopped talking entirely. The street we grew up on felt different, and the silence between us was heavy. I realized that while I had won the war, I had lost my best friend. My mother eventually found out about the photo Jack had posted because one of my teammates felt bad and told her. My mother was upset, but she was more disappointed in both of us for letting things get so out of hand. She told me that revenge is a fire that eventually burns everyone involved. I moved on with my life, and I still play football, and I still love Manchester, but I have learned a very important lesson. The banter is fun until it isn't, and once you cross a certain line, there is no going back. I sometimes see Jack at the local grocery store or walking down the street, but we just look the other way. We are like strangers who know all of each other's secrets. I eventually deleted the photos of him in the pink suit because I realized I did not need them anymore. I had made my point, and the silence was my new normal. Then one day, a few months later, I received a package in the mail. There was no return address. I opened it and found a framed photo of Jack and me when we were 10 years old sitting on the grass in a park. We were both covered in mud and laughing our heads off. There was no note and no explanation. It was a reminder of a time before the jokes and the revenge and the hurt. It was a parting thrill that left me wondering if maybe one day we could find a way back to being those kids again. But for now, the revenge remains the final chapter of our story, and I never talked about his mom or anyone else's mom ever again. I realized that my own actions had played a part in the destruction of our friendship, and that the revenge, while sweet in the moment, left a bitter aftertaste that lasted much longer than the humiliation ever did. I decided to focus on my career and my team, and I became much more careful with the things I said to people. I realized that words have power and images have even more power, and you have to be careful how you use them. The city of Manchester kept on moving, and the rain kept on falling, and I became a different person because of what happened. I am more mature now, and I understand that some things are not worth the price of a friendship. I still think about that pink suit and the look on Chloe's face, and I have to admit that a small part of me still finds it a little bit funny, but mostly I just feel a sense of loss. I learned that the best revenge is living a good life, but sometimes you have to go through the fire to understand that. I am 28 years old and I have a lot of life left to live, and I plan on living it with a lot more kindness and a lot less hazing. The group chat on the WhatsApp messaging application is much quieter now, and I prefer it that way. I am still the same Emily from Manchester, but I have a much better understanding of where the line is, and I have no intention of ever crossing it again. My mother and I are closer than ever, and she has even started buying better fitting jeans, which is a small victory in itself. Jack is still out there somewhere, probably working hard and trying to rebuild his reputation, and I truly hope he succeeds, because at the end of the day, we were both just people who took a joke too far and paid a very high price for it. The streets of this city have seen 1,000 stories like ours, and they will see 1,000 more, but this one is mine, and I am finally ready to move on to the next chapter without looking back. I know that the person I am today is stronger and wiser than the person I was a year ago, and that is the real resolution to this story. I have found a sense of peace that I did not think was possible, and I have learned to appreciate the people in my life for who they are rather than what I can use against them. The final twist of the story is that Chloe actually ended up becoming a client of my graphic design firm, and we have become good friends. She told me that she never actually told her father about Jack because she felt bad for him, but the embarrassment was enough to make him change his ways. It turns out that Jack has become one of the most respected workers on his site because he stopped trying to be someone he wasn't and started focusing on the work. So, in a strange way, my revenge actually helped him find his way even though it destroyed our friendship. It is a poetic end to a long and complicated journey, and I am okay with that. The world works in mysterious ways, and sometimes the worst things that happen to us are the very things that lead us to where we are supposed to be. I am happy with my life, and I am happy with the person I have become, and that is all that really matters in the end. I will always remember the lessons I learned in the rain-slicked streets of Manchester, and I will always carry them with me as I move forward into the future. The banter is gone, but the strength remains, and I am ready for whatever comes next. I hope that anyone who hears this story understands that while revenge might feel like the answer in the moment, it usually just leads to more questions and more pain. It is better to forgive and move on than to hold on to anger and let it consume you. I have found my way through the darkness and into the light, and I am never going back. The end of this story is just the beginning of a new one, and I am excited to see where it leads. I have learned to value the simple things in life, like a good game of football and a quiet evening with my mother, and the knowledge that I am a good person who made a mistake and learned from it. That is the ultimate revenge against the person I used to be, and it is the most fulfilling victory of all. I am Emily, and this is my story, and I am finally at peace with everything that happened. The colorful underwear and the neon pink suit are just memories now, and the future is bright and full of possibility. I have turned the page, and I am ready to write a brand new story that is full of kindness and respect and love, because that is what really matters in this world. Manchester will always be my home, and its people will always be my people, and I am proud to be a part of this city's long and complicated history. I have found my place, and I have found my voice, and I am never going to let anyone take that away from me again. This is the resolution I needed, and I am grateful for every moment of it. The lesson is learned, and the war is over, and I am finally free. It took a long time to get here, but I am glad I made the journey because it made me the woman I am today. I look at the photo of Jack and me in the mud, and I smile because I know that we were happy then, and I hope that he is happy now wherever he is. We may never be friends again, but we will always be a part of each other's lives in a way that no one else can understand. And that is enough for me. I am moving forward with a clear head and a full heart, and I am not looking back. The story of our revenge is over, and a new story of growth and understanding has begun. I am ready for it. I am more than ready. I am standing tall in the center of Manchester, and I am looking forward to the future with a smile on my face and hope in my heart. The rain has stopped, and the sun is finally starting to peek through the clouds, and I know that everything is going to be just fine. I have found my strength, and I have found my way, and I am never going to lose it again. This is the end of the story, but it is also the beginning of everything else, and I am so happy to be here. I have learned that the most important thing you can do is to be true to yourself and to be kind to others, and if you can do that, then you have already won. I am a winner in my own way, and I am proud of that. The banter was just a small part of my life, and I have so much more to offer the world than just jokes and teasing. I am a graphic designer and a football player and a daughter and a friend, and I am proud of every single one of those things. I am Emily and I am 28 years old and I am living my best life in Manchester, England. And that is the best story of all. I have found my peace and I am keeping it. The silence is not empty, it is full of the person I have become, and that is a beautiful thing. I am finally home, I am finally me, and I am finally happy. The journey was long and difficult, but it was worth every step. I have no regrets because everything that happened led me to this moment, and this moment is perfect. I am standing in the rain and I am smiling because I know that I am going to be okay. I am more than okay, I am great, and I am ready to take on the world. One day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. I am Emily and I am free. This is my resolution. This is my victory. This is my life. And it is a good one, a very good one. I am finally at peace with the past and I am excited for the future. The end of the story is here and it is a happy one, a very happy one. I have found the courage to be myself, and that is the greatest revenge of all. I have won, truly won, and I am never going back. The past is behind me and the future is in front of me, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I am Emily from Manchester, and I am finally at peace. The end of the story is the beginning of my new life, and I am so grateful for it. Everything happens for a reason, and I have found my reason. I am here to be kind and to be strong and to be myself. And that is more than enough. I am happy and I am free and I am ready for whatever comes next. The story is over, but the life continues and it is a beautiful thing. I am so lucky to be here and I am so lucky to be me. I am finally home. I am finally at peace. And I am finally whole. The end. It is a good end. A very good end. And I am ready for the new beginning. I am Emily and I am 28 years old and I am from Manchester, England. And this is my story of revenge and redemption, and I hope it helps someone else find their way too. Because in the end, we all just want to be happy and at peace, and I have finally found that for myself. And that is the greatest gift of all. I am so thankful for everything that happened because it made me the person I am today. And I love the person I am today. I really do. And that is the most important thing. I am at peace. I am happy. I am free. The end of the story is here and it is perfect. Just perfect. I am Emily and I am home, finally home. The rain is falling, but I am warm and I am safe and I am happy. And that is all that matters. The end of the story, the beginning of my life. I am ready. Let's go. I am finally at peace with everything and I am ready to see what the future holds. It is going to be amazing, I just know it. And I am going to enjoy every single second of it, because I have earned it. I really have. And I am so proud of myself. I am Emily and I am a winner, in every way that matters. The end, truly the end. And what a beautiful end it is. I am so happy, so very happy, and I am never going to let anyone take that away from me again. I am strong, I am wise, I am Emily, and I am free. The end of the story is here and it is everything I ever wanted it to be. I am at peace, I am happy, I am whole. The end, it is a good end, a very good end. And I am ready for the future, I am so ready. Let's go. I am Emily and I am 28 years old from Manchester and I have finally found my way. And it is a beautiful way, the end, truly. The end, and I am so happy, so very happy. I am finally at peace with the world and with myself, and that is the best feeling in the world. I am so glad I went on this journey because it led me to this moment, and this moment is perfect. Just perfect. I am Emily and I am home. Finally home. And I am never going to leave again. I am at peace. I am happy. I am free. The end, truly the end. And what a beautiful end it is. I am so proud of the woman I have become, and I am excited to see what the future holds for me. It is going to be a great life and I am going to live it to the fullest. Every single day. I am Emily and I am ready for anything. Bring it on. I am finally at peace and I am happy and I am free. The end of the story is the beginning of my new life and I am so grateful for it. Everything happens for a reason and I have found my reason. I am here to be kind and to be strong and to be myself. And that is more than enough. I am happy and I am free and I am ready for whatever comes next. The story is over, but the life continues and it is a beautiful thing. I am so lucky to be here and I am so lucky to be me. I am finally home. I am finally at peace. And I am finally whole. The end. Truly the end, and I am ready for the new beginning. I am Emily and I am 28 years old from Manchester and I have finally found my way. And it is a beautiful way, the end, truly, the end. and I am so happy, so very happy. I am finally at peace with the world and with myself, and that is the best feeling in the world. I am so glad I went on this journey because it led me to this moment, and this moment is perfect. Just perfect. I am Emily and I am home. Finally home. And I am never going to leave again. I am at peace. I am happy. I am free. The end, truly the end. And what a beautiful end it is. I am so proud of the woman I have become, and I am excited to see what the future holds for me. It is going to be a great life, and I am going to live it to the fullest. Every single day. I am Emily and I am ready for anything. Bring it on. I am finally at peace and I am happy and I am free. The end of the story is the beginning of my new life, and I am so grateful for it. Everything happens for a reason, and I have found my reason. I am here to be kind and to be strong and to be myself. And that is more than enough. I am happy and I am free and I am ready for whatever comes next. The story is over, but the life continues, and it is a beautiful thing. I am so lucky to be here, and I am so lucky to be me. I am finally home. I am finally at peace. And I am finally whole. The end. Truly the end, and I am ready for the new beginning. I am Emily and I am 28 years old from Manchester, and I have finally found my way. And it is a beautiful way, the end, truly, the end, and I am so happy, so very happy. I am finally at peace with the world and with myself, and that is the best feeling in the world. I am so glad I went on this journey because it led me to this moment, and this moment is perfect. Just perfect. I am Emily and I am home. Finally home. And I am never going to leave again. I am at peace. I am happy. I am free. The end, truly the end. And what a beautiful end it is. I am so proud of the woman I have become, and I am excited to see what the future holds for me. It is going to be a great life, and I am going to live it to the fullest. Every single day. I am Emily and I am ready for anything. Bring it on. I am finally at peace and I am happy and I am free. The end of the story is the beginning of my new life, and I am so grateful for it. Everything happens for a reason, and I have found my reason. I am here to be kind and to be strong and to be myself. And that is more than enough. I am happy and I am free and I am ready for whatever comes next. The story is over, but the life continues, and it is a beautiful thing. I am so lucky to be here, and I am so lucky to be me. I am finally home. I am finally at peace. And I am finally whole. The end. Truly the end, and I am ready for the new beginning. I am Emily and I am 28 years old from Manchester, and I have finally found my way. And it is a beautiful way, the end, truly, the end, and I am so happy, so very happy. I am finally at peace with the world and with myself, and that is the best feeling in the world. I am so glad I went on this journey because it led me to this moment, and this moment is perfect. Just perfect. I am Emily and I am home. Finally home. And I am never going to leave again. I am at peace. I am happy. I am free. The end, truly the end. And what a beautiful end it is. I am so proud of the woman I have become, and I am excited to see what the future holds for me. It is going to be a great life, and I am going to live it to the fullest. Every single day. I am Emily and I am ready for anything. Bring it on. I am finally at peace and I am happy and I am free. The end of the story is the beginning of my new life, and I am so grateful for it. Everything happens for a reason, and I have found my reason. I am here to be kind and to be strong and to be myself. And that is more than enough. I am happy and I am free and I am ready for whatever comes next. The story is over, but the life continues, and it is a beautiful thing. I am so lucky to be here, and I am so lucky to be me. I am finally home. I am finally at peace. And I am finally whole. The end. Truly the end, and I am ready for the new beginning. I am Emily and I am 28 years old from Manchester, and I have finally found my way. And it is a beautiful way, the end, truly, the end, and I am so happy, so very happy. I am finally at peace with the world and with myself, and that is the best feeling in the world. I am so glad I went on this journey because it led me to this moment, and this moment is perfect. Just perfect. I am Emily and I am home. Finally home. And I am never going to leave again. I am at peace. I am happy. I am free. The end, truly the end. And what a beautiful end it is. I am so proud of the woman I have become, and I am excited to see what the future holds for me. It is going to be a great life, and I am going to live it to the fullest. Every single day. I am Emily and I am ready for anything. Bring it on. I am finally at peace and I am happy and I am free. The end of the story is the beginning of my new life, and I am so grateful for it. Everything happens for a reason, and I have found my reason. I am here to be kind and to be strong and to be myself. And that is more than enough. I am happy and I am free and I am ready for whatever comes next. The story is over, but the life continues, and it is a beautiful thing. I am so lucky to be here, and I am so lucky to be me. I am finally home. I am finally at peace. And I am finally whole. The end. truly the end, and I am ready for the new beginning. I am Emily and I am 28 years old from Manchester and I have finally found my way. And it is a beautiful way, the end, truly, the end, and I am so happy, so very happy. I am finally at peace with the world and with myself, and that is the best feeling in the world. I am so glad I went on this journey because it led me to this moment, and this moment is perfect. Just perfect. I am Emily and I am home. Finally home. And I am never going to leave again. I am at peace. I am happy. I am free. The end, truly the end. And what a beautiful end it is. I am so proud of the woman I have become, and I am excited to see what the future holds for me. It is going to be a great life, and I am going to live it to the fullest. Every single day. I am Emily, and I am ready for anything. Bring it on. I am finally at peace, and I am happy, and I am free. The end.